Good evening, everybody. It's Monday, the 1st of September, 2025, and another edition of SportsView. Good evening, Derwynne, and welcome.
Hey, Pat. Hi, Joe.
Good evening, Joe, and welcome.
Evening, Pat. Evening, Derwynne. How are we?
We're all good.
Joe is heading back from the mountains, and I'm here in Krakow, in the middle of Krakow. On this,
if we're going to be where we are, I'm in Henley, all right?
you're in Headley, excellent. Now, over the weekend, we generally begin with soccer because apart from the results, there's been a lot of controversy again about our friend VAR. Let us state that there was wins in the Premiership in Britain for Brighton, West Ham, Liverpool, Crystal Palace, and Chelsea, Man United, Sunderland, Bournemouth, and we must go back as well in the League Cup during the week, since we have the former darling of Grimsby Town, Joe Waters here. No doubt he was celebrating Wednesday night in their win over Manchester United. I suppose it's just harking back to the old days when a Division 1 team or a Division 4 team beat a Division 1 team. It was so... I was sorry, Joe, I didn't have a punt on Grimsby, you know.
It might well have been worth it.
They played well.
Yeah, one of my family put a bet in it in South Africa.
Go away.
In South Africa, if the team that wins goes up 2-0, they pay out on the bet. So I don't know what it was, but he got what did he get? 116 to 1 or something like that. He got.
Jesus.
Yeah, yeah. So he was well pleased with it. So yeah.
No, I was up in that low on the weekend, and myself and my friend, we saw most of the Man United match against Burnley, where VAR, you could say VAR denied Burnley at least a point in the match. Would that be fair?
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't think so. And I mean, the Burnley player was so... I mean, there was so many things wrong with what he did. I mean, he got caught ball watching on a 1-2, and he knows he's beaten. And then he pulls the jersey of the player. I mean, let's be honest here. If that happens in the middle of the field and somebody goes by somebody, they pull the jersey, it's a free kick and it's a yellow card.
Yeah, the pulling of the jersey began outside the box, one could say.
Well, but it continued inside the box. And that's
it's a continuous foul, so we'll call it, is it?
And I mean, to be honest, the guy didn't need to do it because he had cover.
No. He was never going to score. Yeah.
So VAR are calling that sustained shirt pulling.
But the offside against Burnley because of his hand or something. I mean, that goal was a good goal in a normal game of soccer.
I think I might have missed that one.
I think Burnley deserved to win it, really.
Anyway, United won it, so Amarin is there till Christmas, we could say. Because there's a break now, isn't there?
Do you know, there's international break this week, but I don't. Do you know what? I actually think he's having a few issues with himself, with his own mental side of it.
Who's that? Amarin?
Amarin, yeah, because he's coming out saying some of the most weirdest things ever. That some days he goes in, he doesn't want to be there. Some days he goes in and he wants to be there. I mean, I've never heard football managers talk like that.
No, but I'm sure they think about it. I recall when we played Everton in the League Cup at Blundell Park, when Brian Cade and Bob Latchford and Mick Lyons and all those guys, Dave Thomas, Martin Dobson, and that was an expensive team.
Yeah.
And we beat them at Blundell Park 2-1 in the fifth round of the League Cup. And it sent us into the quarterfinal. Maybe it was the sixth round that sent us into the quarterfinal. Yes. I remember Gordon Lee being interviewed by Martin Tyler. And in those days, Gordon Lee had to come into the home team dressing room conduct the interview, and add an insult to injury. But Martin Tyler said to him, he said, "How are you going to lift these guys' spirits for the weekend? Because I think they had a game against Liverpool or somebody coming up on the Saturday, and they were near the top of the league, so they were fighting for the top spot." And Gordon Lee turned, "Well, it's my job. I have to get them up for the weekend," and that was his attitude. And like you say, with Ruben Amorim, sometimes I love my players, sometimes I don't. I mean, every manager coach feels like that, but they don't express it. You don't sit on TV and that. It's that stuff is for
one could say that
in the locker room. Yeah, when the coaches are around, and you guys are, there's things said in the head coach's office that wouldn't be very complimentary about some people. And I remember being warned about it by Alan Hinton when I became a coach with him. And some of the guys on the team were my buddies and what have you. I played with them. I was a player coach, and he said, "You're going to hear some things that can't go outside this locker room door." And I went, "Yeah, I understand that. I know what it's like."
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's saying some strange things. He's not showing the strength that I would have hoped that he would have.
Exactly. I think you hit the nail on the head, Joe, and I think that the other Manchester manager as well, I think is at the end of his reign in Man City, or he's coming to the end of his reign. In my opinion.
That's going to be very interesting to see what happens there. I mean, to be honest, if City had taken all their chances in the first half at the weekend, they would have probably won handsomely. And then, Burnley or Brighton, get the penalty and they make the changes, and Milner scores the penalty, and it raises them. And City are going for the win, and they get caught horribly, really, for the sucker punch goal, really.
As we talk about managers, another manager now under pressure is Nottingham Forest lost 3-0, at home, which is not a very good look for them,
No, that's well, all's not well at the City Ground. There's talk that Ruben is not getting on with Edu, who's the global manager for the soccer brand.
Yeah, director of football, whatever it is.
And and the owner is a bit upset with him as well for him coming out in the paper and saying, that all is not well here. And of course, when that happens, it affects the dressing room. And you look at a team like West Ham, who looked absolutely terrible in the first two games.
You're right there, Joe. Yeah.
Get it, win. So so all is not well there, and there could be some fallout from it.
So Liverpool breaking today have signed Isaac for 123 million plus. Is that the end of Salah now of his reign in Liverpool? Derwynne?
I don't think so. I think they've bought him because they can.
And Harvey Elliott is leaving Liverpool for Aston Villa.
Yeah, and you've got Mark Gay, by the looks of it, as going to Liverpool.
Yeah. They had a lucky win over Arsenal.
Yeah, it's no surprise, really. I mean, it is a surprise that Liverpool are spending so much money after they won the title.
Yeah.
But you have to think back. They didn't buy anybody last year.
No, they won the league with the same squad,
Jurgen Klopp left them. So
on the radio tonight, Joe, they were saying that Liverpool have actually sold nearly 300 grand's worth of players out of the squad, and they've spent 400 grand on some players coming in. So the difference is only like 100 million, not 100 grand, 100 million. I know that sounds ridiculous to say it's only 100 million,
but in this day and age, it's really not, because when you're looking at somebody going for 20 million now, you're going, well, that was a bargain.
I was reading as well over the weekend, maybe did I read it correctly, that Casemiro is on 400 grand a week.
Yeah.
He's one of the highest paid. When I looked at it, he was on 350,000 British pounds a week.
Onana is on 350 grand a week. They call him a goalkeeper, but I don't know what you call him yourself.
But even like the other day, that goal? Why isn't the goalkeeper holding it rather than trying to
catching the ball?
I mean, I'm totally lost on all this goalkeeping thing. I mean, he's allowed to pick it up and hold it.
You mean the goal that Grimsby scored?
Yeah. I mean, and on Saturday as well. Saturday he did the same thing again. I don't get it. I don't, and he palms it to the middle of the box every time.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't get it. I can't remember watching Pat Jennings, Stepney, Bob Wilson, David Harvey, Gary Sprake, was it?
Gary Sprake, yeah.
Right, I don't, or even who was the other United goalkeeper who was really good?
Stepney.
No, after Stepney. Oh, he won the FA Cup with United, and what was his name?
Michael.
No, before that. Go back in the 70s, early 80s.
Van der Sar.
No, way before him as well. And Barthez. Keep going back.
Oh, Gary Bailey.
Gary Bailey, and who was before Gary Bailey?
Harry Gregg.
I think Paddy Roach was before Gary Bailey.
Harry Gregg was in the 60s, was he?
There was there was
another one as well.
There was Jim Leighton was there, and then Les Seeley.
That's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, he won the FA Cup against.
Yeah, Les Seeley.
Yeah.
You never watched those. When was the last time? Can you remember Pat Jennings palming one out?
Yeah.
I mean, they used to stick to him, didn't they?
Well, you see, most of the Irish goalkeepers grew up with the Gaelic games, Gaelic football, and catching was part and parcel of their upbringing, catching the ball in flight and fast. And I think that's one of the strengths of Irish goalkeepers.
But I'll tell you something else I've noticed this weekend is how many, when it gets to the last 10 minutes, City are doing it a lot. It goes long when they're like, with 10 minutes to go, they just hoof it up the middle of the pitch to Haaland.
Yes, and he's not playing well, is he?
Yeah, I mean well, at that stage, you're getting to the last chance saloon at that stage, and you're just, you're going back to the old way, put the center back up, center forward, and knock long balls to him. It seems to be a tactic that's coming back, because it's certainly stopping the high press when people are trying to do that, and that's your way around it. And for somebody that's as big as Haaland and as good a target as him, I mean, it's not a bad tactic. No. But again, it didn't work out, and they got caught from one being played up there, and he came right back at them, and they and Brighton scored from it. So it's a good tactic, but you have to be organized around it as well, and you have to. Your players have to know their positioning and where they're going to win second balls and what have you, because if they're not ready for it, then you're leaving yourself wide open. and
Absolutely, yes.
and
Sports user program.
that city in that one.
Yeah. Sports user program on their media. All the information is down at the bottom of the screen if you want to contact us, and all the programs are posted on our YouTube channel on nearmedia.tv, and we appreciate all the comments as well. Just before we came on air, lads, I was just reading that Joe Bugner passed away today.
Oh, dear me.
Joe Bugner, the former, well, he was from Hungary originally, but he domiciled in England. A very good heavyweight. He went 12 rounds with Muhammad Ali, you know, as people might have forgotten. He fought all the best heavyweights around at the time. He was British champion, he was European champion, and Commonwealth heavyweight champion. So he was a very, very, I suppose, top 10, top 15 boxer at the time. At the time of all the greats like Joe Fraser, Muhammad Ali, George Chuvalo, and all those people, you know.
Ken Norton.
So,
Ken Norton.
Ken Norton as well, yeah, absolutely. A very underrated boxer, but Joe passed away anyway. I think he was 75 or 76, you know.
Wow.
A young man.
Yeah.
Young man, let's not forget that bit. Anyway, the Women's Rugby Cup continues. It's coming down out to the quarterfinals. And over the weekend, Ireland beat Spain 43-27, a decent game. New Zealand beat Japan 62-19, not a decent game. Italy and South Africa was an even game, 24-29. France beat Japan 84-5, or Brazil 84-5. England beat Samoa 92-3. I don't know. Anyway, the USA then and Australia drew. I saw that match, most of that match. They drew 31 each. My God, lads, you should go back and look at it. There was some big women on that match, and that's not being disparaging on the Australian and the USA team. You know, you certainly wouldn't wouldn't mind the slow dance at one or two. But anyway, Australia and USA. What that means for Australia is that they have to beat New Zealand. I lost my train of thought now. They have to beat the favourites to leave the group anyway. And USA are playing Samoa. Samoa. They must beat England, Australia to qualify for the quarterfinals, which they will not do. And so that means that USA will beat Samoa. So USA and England will go through out of that group. That's the way it really. But it's getting good crowds for the matches. Did you see any of the games?
I didn't see any of it. No.
I watched some of the England game, but I mean,
they're superb.
They should just be giving. They should be giving other teams a head start.
20 points.
Yeah, because it's not. There should be a handicap system because they're not. I mean, they are the only pro team, really, aren't they?
And New Zealand.
Yeah, but even like they're not in the same league as the England.
No, you see, England have developed a club system as well. You know, a full-time club system which helps the players to develop along the way. You know.
I mean, they could put two teams in that World Cup, England.
A and B, yeah. I was thinking of that myself. You know, they're superb and they are good. They're very good. I must say, technically, they are a very good team as well. You know, Wales. We spoke about Welsh rugby recently, and it looks like there's a proposal to promote just two teams in Wales for the URC. Just two teams, professional teams.
I can't see how that will ever work. I mean, the rivalries are too. I mean, they're talking about Newport Dragons pairing up with Cardiff Blues, aren't they?
Yeah.
And then you've got the two Swansea teams pairing up with each other.
I was reading about it, Derwynne, and it's down to money, I'm afraid to say. It's down to money. And even a proposal to have 3 full-time teams is only a third option. The first option is 2 teams for the URC. Now, I know how they're going to manage that to develop the players as well for the national team, you know?
Well, they've lost their way because, I mean, rugby turning pro probably didn't help Wales because they lost a load of club level clubs. You know, loads of them have kind of gone to the wall.
I think the demise of the coal mines had a huge effect on young men.
Wrong down in Wales.
Had more effect on young men in Wales than it had in England.
I mean, you've only got to look at how strong football is in Wales now.
Yeah.
You know, if Wales are playing this week in Cardiff, they'll fill Cardiff City Stadium up.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
You know, they're struggling to fill the Millennium up when Wales are playing New Zealand at rugby.
Thank God for corporate tickets. Yeah.
But Pat, you think that it's because the closing of the coal mines and that industry going away that it affected?
Yeah, I think the community spirit that Wales demonstrated on the world stage of rugby in the 70s and early 80s was a lot of that, you know. I'm not saying they trained for rugby down the coal mines, but you know what I mean. They had hardy men playing rugby, you know, and
club rugby in Wales though in those days was
massive,
was huge, and I remember, and you'll remember as well, but I remember senior rugby in Limerick and in Cork. Well, certainly Cork Cons in University College Cork.
Sundays well and Dolphin.
We had Shannon, we had Young Munster. Who else did we have that were senior rugby in Limerick at the time? That were
Gary Owen.
Well, as I said, Gary Owen, Shannon,
Young Munster,
who else was there?
You had Richmond for a while.
Yeah, it was
Shannon.
Shannon, yeah. And then we're
Bowes.
Old Crescent were they a senior team?
Yeah, they were up on top, for a while.
But those clubs are still going in spite of what happened with rugby in Ireland, with the sides taking over the top part of it. The club rugby scene is still pretty strong and well supported in Ireland. So, I mean, the guys when you were looking at the Welsh team back in the day, I mean, JPR was a doctor. Barry John worked, I think, in a bank.
Yeah, he worked for Midland Bank.
Gareth Edwards, where did he work? Phil Bennett, where they were all. I mean,
Edwards was a teacher.
Yeah.
Phil Bennett was he worked in the steel industry. But I mean, if you go back into all of that whole rugby scene in Wales, club level, so you like clubs like Bridgend, Ebervale, Pontypridd, they're nearly all gone now.
Yeah, Llanelli.
They're nearly all gone.
And you had London Welsh, hadn't you?
Yeah, London Welsh. But I mean, I was just about to say when Joe was talking about the Irish club scene. I mean, London Irish is bankrupt, and they don't have a club anymore.
No, right. It's gone. It's gone.
So again, to me, it's like you just said there about the provincial teams. They've kind of messed up the whole of the lower club level teams, if that makes sense.
But they do it in Ireland because the senior clubs are still going. I mean, if you look at Shannon and Young Munster and Gary Owen, they're all still playing, you know, and they still all have their own grounds and they all have their own support within that, and they're playing, you know, the Allied League, is that what it's called? The Allied
the EIL, the EIL League.
Yeah, I mean they're still playing in that, so they've survived what could have been a catastrophe for club rugby in Ireland, about the four provincials. Because, I mean, let's be honest, in the old days, the provincial teams only ever played 3 matches. The inter-pro ones, there were Munster
That's
played
true.
Leinster, Ulster, and Connacht, and then they would play maybe one of the touring teams if they came through, and that might be about what they played for Interpro.
That's very
Now of
true.
course they're doing the whole thing on a much bigger scale than it was back then. But then all those guys went back to their clubs on Tuesday or Wednesday for training for the weekend for Garryowen against Shannon, or Garryowen against Munsters, or Shannon against Munster, or whatever, or against Cork Con, or whatever it was. So, and those matches are still going on within the club system.
Well,
So,
there's half the places. There's a flash came up there. The deal between Liverpool for Go High Crystal Palace has fallen through.
Yeah, they were on the radio. They were hoping it would go through because the deal was
It's
sell Guy on the basis that they had 2 players coming in, and they had a German, and it might have been a Swiss guy or something, or Belgian. And the Belgian player, that deal fell through. But what they were hoping was that Liverpool might have sent a player down, as in you can have, as part of the deal, you can have him. But obviously that's now fallen through.
Yeah.
Yeah,
which is crazy for Palace because he's a free agent next season.
He is, yeah.
And they were hoping to get like 30-40 million for him.
Yeah, that's true.
That would have been money for Palace. So
but he's played for as well as he did with Eberezer and getting the money they got for him and what have you, and moving him on. I don't think that Steve Parish has played a very good hand with Mark Gouy with the way he's handled this. He should have gone and got early on the centre backs that he needed. He knew Liverpool were interested in Gouy for a long, long time, and he should have got Joe Gomez in the deal, but Liverpool were about to give him up. So
that's true.
And if you listen, I was listening to a podcast with what's his name, John Aldridge, the other day.
Yeah,
and he said it looks like he's out the door already. That Real Madrid are interested in him. His contract is up at the end of the year, so they think he's just treading water till he gets to Real Madrid next year. And that centre back was one of the biggest positions that Liverpool needed to take care of.
Yeah, that is true. That's true. Yeah, because
they wanted to continue to be successful. So I'm surprised that they let that happen. But then I'm not surprised that they wouldn't let Gomez go, because if they're going to lose Kanati next year, they're going to have to get another centre back. And where are they going to get that from?
Now the Formula One roadshow continues along the way. It was over for the Dutch Grand Prix over the weekend. I know there are some Grand Prix fans out there, but Piastri won it from Verstappen, and Hadley was third, and Russell was fourth. But Russell, sorry, didn't finish the race. He was in second and changing the lead for a while, but it didn't put pay. But the points for the drivers' championship, Piastri is on 309. Norris is on 275. Verstappen is on 205, and Russell is on 184. It looks like Piastri is to lose at this stage. Even they're just kind of over halfway in the season, But I only saw a bit of that. I must admit, I didn't see the Grand Prix. In the golf,
he had an oil leak, didn't he?
He did, yeah, he did.
I say that Formula One surprises me because you had Red Bull that were flying there at one stage, and why all of a sudden is their car not as good as it was when Verstappen was winning? What was it, 2 or 3 world championships? Or how many did he win?
Well,
You know, and
I
then
think
Hamilton at Mercedes with a great car for so long, and then all of a sudden they go the way of the dodo with their car, and it just seems what do they do in the meantime? Are they trying to change things
Well,
so
I think
drastically?
Red Bull went a bit skew if when Adrian Newey left, who's the car designer. So he left really under a bad cloud because I think he wanted more money and different things like that, and he'd already got himself lined up with McLaren, I think it was.
Yeah.
So it was literally like, well, pay me what I'm asking for, or I'm going to McLaren. And then all the nonsense that's gone on with Christian Horner as well.
That's true, and that's true. Yeah,
And I
but
think the big boss of Red Bull, as in the owner of Red Bull, the Czechoslovakian guy, I think he's kind of lost a little bit of interest in it. And that academy thing that that Red Bull Racing run,
yeah,
they've kind of taken their sort of eye off the ball, for want of a better word.
yeah. There's a lot at play, all right, but I think it's some of that, and some of the other cars happen to improve as well. They happen to improve. It's not that the other cars disimproved; it's the other cars caught up with the technology and whatever. I'm not an expert in Formula One. I think
Well, I think
there's
Mercedes
it's,
got reined
it's,
in, didn't they, because of the design on the
yeah,
car?
it's the team with the most money and the best designer
Yeah.
and a decent driver. They'll win it. But I think it's gone very antiseptic as a sport. Myself, that's my opinion for
Well,
the
it's
sport.
definitely not the same. It's not really the same racing, is it?
I mean, if you pass out a guy, imagine in a race, there are places on the track that you can't pass another car. In a
Yeah,
racing car race, and if you do it, you get a 10-second penalty.
yeah.
I mean, that's what I mean by it's antiseptic, you know. But that's my own opinion. I could be all wrong, you
Yeah,
know.
well, at least somebody different is winning it this
Huh?
time, so that
Yeah.
keeps the interest a little bit in it. But and again, what's happening with Christian Horner? Derwynne, is he starting a new team on his own, or has he got?
I think what Red Bull did, because there was various things allegedly to do with sort of
Yeah.
sexually, stuff with staff members. I think his part of his payoff and all the rest of it was he's got X amount of gardening leave where he can't get involved in motor racing.
So he's got a non-compete clause then in his.
Yeah, so he's obviously gone out the door with a load of money.
Yeah,
I yeah,
But
I think that and Red Bull for life to drink.
yeah,
so
I
who do
bet
you,
he's not drinking Red Bull.
who do you think is the guy that was it? Just Verstappen, was he that much of a jerk in this whole thing that
Yeah,
he
yeah,
he was the cause to bring it down,
yeah. I
because
think so,
he
and I
was
think
insinuating himself into every part of it,
yeah,
and
I, I, I think I think yeah. That would be definitely a big red flag in the whole discussion of it. It's like Damon Noonan in a famous right here to remind me of the jerk. I was standing in the corner of 42nd Street, minding my own business one evening, when a car pulled up with a jerk. The jerk got out. But anyway,
I
that's
think
Damon.
I think there's loads of stuff that's gone on with Red Bull.
Yeah,
I think the guy who was the massive Red Bull motor racing guru, he passed away, didn't he?
right.
And I think the owner of Red Bull kind of has got involved in everything now, and they're in football, they're into rugby, they're
RB Leipzig.
yeah, they're into everything, aren't they?
Yeah,
I think he's kind of
a few clubs. Yeah,
I think that's all just the Red Bull thing's all starting to unravel, and I think you got Verstappen's dad doesn't help because he's like Verstappen's agent as such, and
he's been around the ring. Yeah,
he stirred it all up as well about Max Verstappen will move on to another team if you don't pay him this and you don't do this, and he's got to be guaranteed to have the best car. And
yeah, he's 104 points behind the leader now, Max Verstappen.
Yeah.
So that's that's 4 Grand Prix to win, without your man getting a point. It's a tall order. In golf, would you say, Derwynne, in the old days? I know we're always talking about the old days, but the European Masters was a flagship golf tournament.
Yeah, it would have been sort of third ranked biggest tournament out there. So you would have had the PGA Championships, then you would have had the Volvo Masters at Valderrama, and then you'd have had the European Masters
in France, wasn't it?
No, it was always in Switzerland.
Or Switzerland.
Yeah, Cran-Montana, Cran-Sancière.
Cran-Sancière. Now, it was on over the weekend, and it was won by Lawrence from South Africa.
Yeah,
minus 22. A decent golfer.
He's a good player.
I think the field was devoid of a lot of well-known golfing names, for the want of a better word. I think it's
the European Tour's changed though, Pat. I mean,
yeah, we said that before, yeah.
You know that.
And do you give them any chance against America in the Ryder Cup?
My golfing brain's going to say they ain't got a cat and house chance at Bethpage, because you're going to have it's New York New York golf fans.
Yeah,
so Bethpage will be so set up for the Americans, it will be scary. And Bethpage, the black is unbelievably difficult. And I think you've only got to look on paper. You'd have to go nearly at least 9 of the players you'd say are stronger than the other 9 in the European team.
Right, and also Europe are the holders. They only need a draw.
Yeah, if they got a draw, they would have done really well, I think.
Yeah, myself and a few lads went through the other night, and this is all supposition and hypothetical, because we don't even know who the 4 balls are yet, or foursomes.
Yeah, but if you look at that, I sent you that picture of the European team that's been picked today. If you look at that picture, I would say there's probably only 2 who are playing the European Tour more than they play America.
So they're all playing in America, which should give them an equal chance.
No, because I honestly look at that American team and you go, wow, that's some team. And I think Keegan Bradley is a better captain than Luke Donald.
Oh, by a mile.
And I think if you want to, having lived in the States, Joe lives in the States, what if they start getting the old rah-rah going and behind it and all the rest of it, it's a massive advantage being at home in the Ryder Cup. You've only got to look at the noise when it's in Europe. And
don't forget
in America, and this is New York now,
right?
So it's going to be even noisier.
But
Joe,
we were talking the other day. I'm just thinking of players, right? We were thinking of players and talking about players.
Yes.
Just Thomas and Jordan Spieth. Are they in the Ryder Cup team?
I think Thomas is. He was a wild card.
Justin Thomas is in the team.
Yeah, he was a wild pick though, and he's picked for a reason, because he's as much as Keegan Bradley's a cheerleader as well when he was playing Ryder Cup, Justin Thomas is a younger version of him in some ways.
Absolutely, yeah. And the last playing captain of the Ryder Cup is still Arnold Palmer.
Yeah, I'm surprised he never went for it.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, we welcome the Ryder Cup to Limerick the next time then.
Yep.
Joe, we'll give him a real Limerick welcome. We'll have to organise a crowd for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be really interesting. Have they finished off the road around Adair
No,
yet?
they didn't even start it yet.
They haven't even started it yet.
No. They'll be going to the Ryder Cup in their horse and buggies. You know.
Jeez. Derwynne, have you ever been through Adair?
Yeah, it's country lanes, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's like, how are they going to be able to handle that traffic if they'll
have to use helicopters.
If they don't put a ring road around it,
when they land in Shannon Airport, they'll be brought out by a helicopter.
I think what they've learned loads of things over the years for the Ryder Cup. I think it really started at Celtic Manor in 2012, was it?
Yeah.
2010, is it? 2010?
Ian Woosnam.
Where they did park and ride. So they parked, the spectators were parked miles and miles away.
Right. They did.
And bust in on a one-way system.
Yeah, they did that here in Tacoma when the US Open was down at Chambers Bay.
Chambers Bay, yeah.
Yeah, and I rode the bus. I parked at Peterson Field in Lakewood, and they had a fleet of school buses.
Yeah, that's it.
That were taking people in and out. And a buddy of mine was able to get in there because he has a limo service. So they were letting limos in the lead up to it. They were letting limos in there just to see how they were going to get in and out and around and what have you. So, but the rest of it was busting. Yeah, it was, and it was quite. I mean, it was a good system. It worked really well.
When the Irish Open was in Lahinch, no traffic. We got myself, my son, and my grandson. We went to that Open. We went down from Shannon to Innistimon in the bus, if you know the geography of the area, and that was it. You either had to walk within the other 6 miles, or there was a shuttle service. In from Innistimon to Lahinch, and it worked very well. Otherwise,
if they were going to have a shuttle service then to Adair, where would they do it from?
I would say they'll do it from Colbert Station in Limerick. They will link up with all the regular bus services go into Colbert Station in Limerick. So it makes sense to have a shuttle service to Adair for everybody. You know, because
when it was at Celtic Manor, they used the loads of school playgrounds.
Yeah.
And they used some of the empty office spaces and like on industrial estates. So it became like, you were being bussed in from a long way out, really. Probably 5 miles.
Colbert Station in Limerick is a long way out from Adair as well.
It is. But people should remember, if you're planning on going to the Ryder Cup in Adair Manor, it will be very restrictive regarding numbers, Not everybody will be able to go. Well, apart from the price, you physically won't be able to go, But it's... I think Padraig Harrington won the Irish Open in Adair Manor, did he?
I think he did, yeah.
I think he did. He won his Irish Open. With a playoff with Bradley Dredge, I think, yeah.
Yeah, go back a while, isn't it?
Yeah, God. 2007, but don't quote me. I think it was then. But well, we look forward to that. Absolutely look forward to that, and we look forward to now Liverpool.
I think he's picked a couple of players, and I mean, I'm surprised he's gone for experience, a lot of experience.
Europe.
Yeah. Matt Fitzpatrick got a wild card.
He's not playing well. He won't do well.
And you'd have to, if you were Matt Wallace, you've just missed out by one spot. And he's been playing great.
He's been playing very good.
And he's been playing across in America as well and mixing it with Europe. And you'd have to feel sorry for him a little bit. Marco Penge as well.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him.
You know, he's
recent good form, Marco Penge. Yeah. Where's he from? I know he's in. What part of England is he from, Marco Penge?
I think he's from. He's either Lancashire or Leicestershire, somewhere like that.
Oh, yeah.
Midlands sort of thing. But again, I mean, Sepp Strack has been picked, which I kind of get because he's based in the States.
I don't think he'll do anything. He didn't do anything in golf, you know.
But I don't know. To me, that just don't. I know it's easy to reminisce and kind of, think back to some of those Ryder Cup teams. But at one stage, Europe probably had the strongest players all in at the same time in the world. I'm talking about.
That's true. Yeah. But anyway, we're speculating. But I think at the end of the month, I think America will win it pulling up. You know.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be very difficult for Europe to beat the US this time out.
Yeah, you're right. Victor Hovland is in the European team, isn't he?
Yeah, he got wild card.
He's lost all for him.
Yeah. So again, he's gone for players who were there last time round, really.
But then again, I suppose really these guys have just got to be fired up and play their best golf for a weekend.
Or one match.
Which they're all capable of doing. So, I mean, you never know. It's like, it's like Grimsby the other night, you jump out in front in the first half and then really they got battered in the second half and held on to draw. But
I mean, the penalty shootout was just, I forgot to, I don't have it here online tonight to play the penalty shootout. It was something else,
It was, to be totally honest, I was gobsmacked by the quality of the penalties, especially for the Grimsby when you got down to the 8, 9, 10, and 11, you know, and the way they were putting them away was like, I mean, we all know that England doesn't have a great reputation for penalties, shootouts, and what have you. But these guys look like they were Brazilians or Europeans the way they were putting the ball in the back of the net. They had a couple of dodgy ones, but
did Amarin get free haddock for the year? I wonder, going home.
Hey, did you hear this one? So when they arrived at Blundell Park, right? Or just before they got to Blundell Park, somebody from Man United called up the Grimsby office and asked the question, where is the Manchester United manager's changing room at Blundell Park? Our guy, our chairman, our owner, Jason Stafford, turned around and said,
the back of the bus.
We don't even have a changing room for our own manager. He changes the boot of his car. Which is not quite true, but it's the way it is, And I can only just imagine. I've been in that visiting dressing room at Grimsby a number of times, and I don't know how they would fit all those people in there. Because when in the old days, when you had 12 players, maybe 13, you had a manager, you had a coach, and you had the physiotherapist,
Yeah.
and you were walking on top of each other to get around it. So
Yeah.
I can't even imagine what it's like.
So
In the
they have a strength and conditioning coach. They have a statistician. They have people for doing their hair. Fixing their hair before they go out and put on the proper gel on it. Isn't that right? The Man United players I'm talking about now, not the Grimsby players.
What
then,
was
then they'll walk into the visiting dressing room, and there'll be 2 showers in the shower, and there'll be a big communal bath that they can all sit in and hold hands. Actually, I'm not even sure if there's 2 showers in it. They just changed the home team, one. We used to have the big communal bath. There was a picture on it of Facebook the other day when we won the third division title
Yeah.
at Glundon Park, and there was 8 or 9 of us in the bath at the same time, and there was one shower on the end of it. So there
Well, I
was.
can tell you, we went on a tour of Park de Ponce last year. We showed some pictures, and if you saw the dressing rooms in that stadium, lads, my goodness me, it was the size of Brundle Park. One of the dressing rooms,
Oh
just
yeah,
huge.
I tell
You
you.
get lost inside it, just fantastic. Anyway,
Did you lads see any of the stuff on Facebook about after the Grimsby game? There's
no.
there's one fella posted one Blundell Park, and he took taken from the main stand, which is the big stand,
Yeah,
and you can take it the Fender stand. It used to be the Fender stand. It's not that,
understand.
but it's pictured the main stand across where the dugouts are, and then the Humber Estuary is in the background, and the caption on it, if there's any Man United fans looking for a staycation at this time of the year, you can't beat Grimsby. That was the first one. Then the second one was Old Trafford capacity crowd, 79,000 or 76,000, whatever it is. Population of Grimsby, 86,000. And then the third one that I saw was fish and chips in Grimsby, grilled, deep fried, and then there's a plate of fish and chips battered with a picture of Rumwood Amarin next to him, or battered. No, it was like they went to town. They really went to town on it. It was
How did Man United travel to the match? Did they get a train or did they fly?
no, they were on buses, so you couldn't park in the director's parking lot at Grimsby because it was full. This is how big the parking lot is at Dundle Park, right?
Yeah,
Is that it's on the big stand, the Fender stand, as I call it, but
yeah,
what I call right now. But on that side, nobody could park in the parking lot because of all the TV vans.
broadcasting vans? Yeah.
the broadcasters. Yeah,
They took up the whole thing. So people had to park on the side streets.
Wow.
Yeah, but that was nothing unusual for big games back in the day. I mean, in my day, you had the players' parking lot, which maybe you could get about 15 or 16 cars into. And then you had the director's parking lot, which was on the same side, ran parallel with the ground, ran parallel with the railway track and the Humber Estuary, and
yeah.
was off Glundle Avenue, and that maybe held 8 to 10 cars, and that was all that was parking on the ground. Everyone else parked on the side streets and walked to the game.
And just to finish on that, on the match with Grimsby and United, the gate. Who gets the gate? What way does it break down the income from the gate, lads? I forgot to look at it.
I
And the
think
income.
I think that I don't know. I mean, I know that it used to be in the old days, and it maybe this is what happened, which killed everything. But in the old days, it used to be 50-50. So you were always hoping that you got drawn away from home.
Yeah.
So that you
A
get
bigger crowd, yeah.
the crowd and what have you, the whole thing. But then they changed it that the home team kept all the receipts.
Yeah.
So then for the smaller teams, it was never worth being drawn away at Old Trafford or at the Emirates or at Highbury or wherever it was in the old days in the finish, because you didn't get anything out of it.
And I think in the FA Cup now that if like Maidstone got Man United, I think they could go, we'll take it to Man United rather than Maidstone.
All right.
And I think they split it. It's like 3/4 to Maidstone and 1/4 to United.
They give up home advantage because it's too small. Yeah.
So I know I wouldn't say Maidstone would, but if but one of those really little teams got to the third round.
Yeah, but I mean, look at Grimsby. When we played Everton in 78, 79 in the sixth round or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I mean, the ground held 24,000 at the time, and all the corners were filled in then. The corners were empty this time, and it's all seating. Well, there was only seating in the main stand at that time. And there was standing in front of it, and then the Barrett stand and the other two were all standing as well. So, and they said it was like they said it was 24,000, but people said there was probably about 28,000 there. The amount of people that were squeezed in there, but the thing is, like the atmosphere the other night. You can't beat that for a club like Grimsby.
What's the
smaller club? It's more important.
What's the capacity of the ground, Joe?
So it's more important for them to feel the energy of that night.
Yes.
It is to make money elsewhere. I'll tell you a story, gospel truth. A friend of mine, Pete Roberts, was in hospital last week.
Yeah.
Pete is he and his brother Dave and the whole family are huge Grimsby Town fans, have been forever. They were both at the Everton game when we beat them in 78, 79. They go way back with it. And Pete, the only team that Pete Roberts had never seen play Grimsby Town was Manchester United. Right? He's in hospital. The doctors and the nurses facilitated him getting out of hospital. His family picked him up, got him to the game, got him to where he could be taken easily to his seat and what have you to watch the game. And then he has a result like that on the night.
Wow.
He was just happy to be watching it.
Yes. Because the last time they met Man United, I think they beat him 4-3, did they?
Yeah. And you know what? So here's one for you. Grimsby Town still hold the record attendance for Blundell Park or for Old Trafford. 79,000. The 1948.
48, I was reading about it, yeah.
1948 FA Cup semi-final, Grimsby Town versus Wolves at Old Trafford. 79,000 people.
So what's
the capacity of Blundell Park now?
Blundell Park is probably about 8,500.
Yeah.
There was on the news in the lead up to the match, 5 Live, BBC 5 Live. They had a guy come on the radio who was 96 or something. And he was at the 1947 game against United.
Okay.
And he's like, that was the last time they played United, apparently. Was 1947 or something.
Yeah.
And this guy's literally been at both the games. How about that?
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah. That is something else. That was quite something. So, yeah. But that's what I'm saying. You know, a night like that for them, even if they hadn't won, to
No, it's
experience
just
a night like that at Blundell Park is like unbelievable.
the
And
hair. Yeah,
that's
the
what
hair.
people talk about, you know, forever and a day. You know, I mean, was it the greatest win that Grimsby Town have ever had? No. I mean, people were arguing about that the other day, but you know, we've gone to Anfield and beaten Liverpool at Anfield. We've gone to when they were at the top of the tree. We've gone to Everton when they were top of the tree, when Howard Kendall was the manager.
Yeah.
Yes.
Leagues and cups. They couldn't play in Europe because English teams were banned from Europe at that time. But they beat Everton at Goodison Park 1-0 with a Paul Wilkinson goal. Nigel Batch played out of his mind that night. So I think that was in '89 or something like that, around that time. So yeah, I mean they've had great nights at different times, but just to have, and they've beaten Arsenal and Spurs at Blundell Park. So, you know, but just to have United there and a big club there, so that people can experience it is just huge. And just the energy it brings to, you know, Grimsby and Cleethorpes are side by side. They're two towns joined. One is a fishing town. The other was a seaside resort, and still is. So, so just the atmosphere there for it was absolutely unbelievable.
And just
Not just
United.
that as well, though, is it, Joe? Because you can imagine those Man United superstars walking into that changing room.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They'd be like, "What are we doing? What's this all about?"
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And they're playing Manchester City next in the Premiership. Man United.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think
that's
old
something to do.
Amorim's going to have a nervous breakdown, I think.
I think I don't. Yeah, I don't think he'll be given a ticket for that match. He'll have to stay at home.
Well,
But
I think their next 3 games, they've got City, and then they've got Liverpool, I think,
Newcastle.
and then Newcastle. I mean, it was on there the other day on one of the. You've got to watch Roy Keane on that Stick to Football with Gary Neville and Ian Wright and Jill Scott and Carragher, because they filmed their last one. So they film it every Wednesday.
Oh yeah.
They were talking about the previous United game, and then Roy Keane turned around and said, "Oh, can you imagine if they lose to Grimsby tonight?" I mean, and you know when you just kind of you're sitting there and you kind of going, "Wow." I mean, not that he talked it into it, but you know when you sit there and kind of go, so Wednesday is the next episode of Stick to Football with those 5 people.
Right.
Can you imagine what they're going to be doing the analysis of the Grimsby game?
Oh, I can hear it now. Yeah.
I mean,
And
Roy Keane is. I mean, I love Roy Keane.
yeah.
He is so funny. He doesn't get the. He said there was one the other night. He turned around and he said, "What is it with these players hugging the opposition in the tunnel? Like what are you doing?" Like, and Ian Wright was like, well, "They know each other. They might play international football together or share rooms when they, with the international team." And he's going, "But you're going out to battle, not like what's that all about?" And you've got like Jill Scott sits there and she's just winding it up, and she's like, "Did you never cuddle anybody?" And he's like, "No." And then you got Neville going, did you ever cuddle Teddy Sheringham? Because apparently they didn't get on too well.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I don't think I ever even attempted to congratulate him on a goal, let alone give him a cuddle.
What's the name of that program again?
Stick to football.
Stick to football. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it a podcast?
It's a podcast, but it's like one of Sky's little TV shows, but they do it like a podcast.
Yeah.
But
excellent.
if you go on YouTube and just not Google, but put it in search Stick to Football, Joe, you got to watch some of it.
I watched some of it. I have.
It's just brilliant.
Yeah.
And when you're on YouTube, then you can Google SportsView after that.
Exactly. And on Facebook, you keep forgetting Facebook.
Yeah, and Facebook and Instagram and we have clips of the show now going up. Thanks to Martin Lennon, going up on Instagram and on TikTok. We're up on TikTok now for clips of the show as well. For funny.
Oh my God, Joe, you're a TikTok star.
Yeah, TikTok. So on that wonderful note, lads, we've come to the end of another show, but we'll all be somewhere else next Monday night, put together again, if you know what I mean. Hopefully. So from Pat and Joe and Derwynne, from this edition of SportsView, until we meet again next Monday night, take care, guys. Thanks for your time and have a great week.
Take care, lads. Good luck. See you next week. Bye.